mediation. Like there was an idea of mediation, and both sides, your side and Blake's, shot it down. No one wanted. No, were you open to mediating this? And the other side said no, because I don't understand why this could and should end, but it has to be them, right?
Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds have recently gone through one of the most humiliating and public breakups in Hollywood. Once regarded as the industry's golden couple, they are now being accused of being master manipulators, deceiving everyone around them and playing both the public and their fans for fools.
I'd say the majority of people I'm reading are not okay that he went and joked about such a serious thing.
If even their closest A-list friends are starting to distance themselves, it's clear that their dominance in Hollywood has reached a definitive and irreversible conclusion.
And there's a hypocrisy and a fraudulence there that the public is picking up on. They weren't the first to do this. It was Blake Lively, it was Ryan Reynolds, this was their strategy, and now they kind of want to put the genie back in the bottle. But guess what? The genie does not want to go back in the bottle. The genie likes to be free, okay? And we're now all paying attention.
For years, Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds expertly crafted the image of being the most perfect and enviable couple in Hollywood. Blake consistently played the role of the humble, relatable woman, carefully curating an Instagram persona that screamed, "I'm just a girl who bakes," with every post designed to exude warmth and approachability. Meanwhile, Ryan embraced the image of the charming, irreverent, funny guy, always quick with a witty remark or a playful joke, solidifying his status as a walking meme. Together, they built an illusion that they were the ultimate Hollywood power couple, seemingly flawless in every way.
Well, Ryan Reynolds on the Enneagram is a psycho. That's what he is, just a psycho. His number is psycho.
But then reality set in, and it became increasingly evident that behind all the meticulously curated PR images and their seemingly perfect public personas, they were simply another problematic Hollywood couple who had deluded themselves into believing they were untouchable. Their greatest misstep? The belief that they could somehow evade the repercussions of their actions. The recent series of scandals that have unfolded around them stand as undeniable proof that they were gravely mistaken in thinking they could escape the consequences.
He's just being his funny Deadpool self, guys. So ironic, and it's so funny. He's like mocking the situation. And I do want to point out the homie Kevin Costner behind him.
And then there are the memes. Oh, the memes. The internet has completely obliterated the public personas they worked so hard to build. Blake's carefully crafted holier-than-thou feminist image? It's been shattered beyond repair. Ryan's once charming, self-aware comedic routine? Reduced to a pile of rubble? Every cringe-worthy clip from their disastrous SNL appearance? Every awkward interview? Every hypocritical statement they've made over the years? It's all resurfacing. The internet is dragging them down in the most humiliating and unforgiving way imaginable, showing no mercy as their carefully constructed images crumble before the world's eyes.
There were other people as well who didn't find it to be entertaining and were just sort of like, okay. And you could see that they didn't want to be inserted into, I guess, what you could now refer to his various Deadpool scenes.
Hollywood has turned its back on them. Studios no longer want to work with them, and brands are quickly distancing themselves, unwilling to be tainted by the fallout. Fellow actors are ashamed to be associated with them, and their once loyal fans have now abandoned them. Perhaps most unforgiving of all, the internet will ensure their actions are never forgotten, constantly reminding them of their downfall.
Sources with direct knowledge tell TMZ lots of the stars who attended the events on Sunday were confused as to why Blake and Ryan appeared on the show while they battled it out in court surrounding the movie It Ends With Us.
Given its impressive $351 million worldwide gross on a modest $25 million budget, it should have been celebrated as a triumph. Yet, instead of being remembered for its success, it's now tied to one of the most chaotic and high-profile legal battles Hollywood has seen in years. And the focus keeps returning to Blake Lively, her relentless attempts to portray herself as the victim while trying to manipulate and control the narrative for her own benefit.
I told them that I wasn't in the best place. I told them that I was exhausted, that I haven't given myself time to recover.
Blake, ever the dramatic queen of victimhood, made serious accusations against director Justin Baldoni, claiming harassment and a hostile work environment. She had all the heartbreaking details, unwanted physical advances, inappropriate comments, and more. If we took her at face value, it seemed like the worst on-set experience imaginable. But here's the twist. Those accusations only surfaced after she realized her control over the film wasn't as strong as she had thought. Isn't that timing a bit too convenient to ignore? It certainly raises some serious questions, doesn't it?
Blake sensed she had a hit on her hands, and as soon as that happened, she took over. Complete control of that movie, brought in A-list producer, everybody else, and steamrolled the entire production from jump.
And of course, how conveniently timed, just before the holiday season in December 2024, Blake rushed to the California Civil Rights Department to file a complaint, ensuring the media spotlight was on her.
She doesn't have a Deadpool. She kind of lost it and had to be meticulously controlling every piece of the movie, which was not her place to do.
Imagine being so desperate for power that you end up caught in a multi-million-dollar legal nightmare, all because someone wouldn't let you control a project. And as if their legal drama wasn't absurd enough, these two brilliant minds thought it would be a great idea to mock the entire situation on live television, trivializing the mess they'd made for themselves.
You can just see he is not pleased. He just doesn't find it to be funny. He seems to be trying to look to see if he can catch Blake's face there, and he just didn't find it funny. He did not break character once. He just was like, okay. And there were other people as well who didn't find it to be entertaining.
Enter the Saturday Night Live 50th anniversary in February 2025, where Ryan Reynolds became the perfect example of a read the room fail. During the show, he made a joke about the ongoing legal dispute, and, unsurprisingly, it backfired spectacularly. Ryan, my friend, when your wife is already knee-deep in accusations and lawsuits, cracking jokes about it in front of millions of viewers probably isn't the best move.
He just wins for his sincerity, his ability to connect with people, regular people outside of the Hollywood bubble, women, many women who have actually survived sexual abuse, sexual harassment, whatever it is.
As expected, Hollywood did what it does best, dragged them through the mud. The Hollywood Reporter ran a cover story exposing their dramatic downfall, and Blake, always the delusional drama queen, quickly labeled it as sexist and demeaning. Sure, Blake, it's sexism when the media holds you accountable, but it's fine when you and your PR team manipulate every press outlet to paint Baldoni as the villain, right?
Blake has also claimed Justin SH'd her while on the movie set. One source who was at 30 Rock for the taping tells us Blake and Ryan were the talk of the entire evening, and many people avoided them.
I think this was weird. I think this is weird to have Ryan Reynolds there, specifically when his ex's husband also
That's another thing,
is
yeah.
on that show. Also, to note that, yes, they've hosted before in 2009 and a couple other times.
Hijacked the movie, threatened everybody, got involved, over-exaggerated complaints. And then when the movie was a hit, but she wasn't seen as a hit, she was seen as the problem, that's when everything went south.
Suddenly, the joke doesn't seem so funny when it's aimed at him. And Blake, the woman who spent years crafting an image of grace, professionalism, and I can do no wrong, is now being exposed as the manipulative mess she truly is. It turns out that Hollywood's once beloved sweethearts were nothing more than its biggest frauds all along.
The celebrities are gossiping about drama amid Baldoni.
Asking why Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds were even there.
They did this publicity stunt last night where they went on SNL and Ryan Reynolds made this silly joke, this really silly joke.
Their professional lives are crashing, with several upcoming projects put on indefinite hold. Studios are distancing themselves, and endorsement deals are disappearing faster than Blake's credibility. Major brands have no tolerance for scandal, and these two have become toxic in the industry. Even their once loyal fan base is starting to fade. For the first time in their careers, their usual charm and appeal can't shield them from the fallout.
How's it going?
Great. Why? What have you heard?
Let's talk about Ryan for a moment. He spent years building a brand as the cool, self-aware guy, the one who supposedly doesn't take Hollywood too seriously, but is clearly desperate for its approval and validation. However, when multiple directors and co-stars start refusing to work with you, it becomes painfully clear you're the problem.
She doesn't have a Deadpool. She kind of lost it and had to be meticulously controlling every piece of the movie.
Let's not forget Tim Miller, the director of Deadpool, who didn't just have a disagreement. He walked away from the franchise because working with Ryan had become a nightmare. Then there's TJ Miller, Ryan's co-star, who made it clear he wouldn't work with Ryan again, not even for double the paycheck. When the people who helped make you a box office king refuse to work with you, that's a major yikes moment.
I'm unaware of anybody, frankly, whose wife has been sexually harassed and has made jokes about that type of situation.
Then there's Blake's carefully crafted Golden Girl act falling apart before our eyes. This is the same woman who spent years building the image of the perfect Hollywood wife and mother, only for that facade to crumble as she's exposed as someone who throws tantrums when things don't go her way. Her entire narrative was about being a strong, independent actress who fights for what's right. But the moment things get tough, she turns into the most oppressed woman in Hollywood. It's hard to reconcile, isn't it?
He's spot on and wisely calling it out for what it is. And apparently now comfortable doing some more interviews, given that, Blake and Ryan are out there on one of the biggest stages, addressing, sort of alluding to it when they're trying to tell everyone to stop talking or stop defending themselves. They're allowed to go out on the red carpet and play like their brand is fine.
The bottom line is simple. These two believed they were untouchable. They thought their carefully crafted personas and PR strategies would shield them from any consequences, letting them slide by without facing accountability. They relied on charm and likability to get through one scandal after another. But the truth is, people are done with the act. The ongoing legal battle, the media frenzy, their failed damage control, it's all coming to a head, and there's no recovering from this level of disaster.
Confused as to why Blake and Ryan appeared at the show while they battle it out in court with Baldoni over drama surrounding the movie It Ends With Us. Right.
People were sort of just noticing that Blake Lively was not the nicest person.
Somebody in Blake Lively's camp was shopping around what they claimed to be HR complaints to various tabloids and publications, namely TMZ, Daily Mail, and the New York Post.
Squeeze every last bit of profit from anything that even remotely resembles success. If Disney, the undisputed masters of "we don't care about bad press," are hesitating, it's clear you've messed up on a monumental scale.
It would have been wiser for them to take the mediation route, to settle, okay? To say, we cannot win this. But I can tell you that that's not exactly a planned route of escape for them anymore at this moment.
Let's not overlook the endorsement deals vanishing faster than their once solid credibility. Brands don't want to be tied to scandal, and that's exactly what's happening. Blake's luxury lifestyle partnerships are gone, her collaborations with top fashion brands have been canceled, and even the mom-friendly, non-controversial sponsorships she once had are now pulling away. Ryan's not doing any better. His aviation gin campaign is quietly fading. His reputation as a marketing genius is quickly fading when no one wants to market him anymore. Turns out, companies aren't eager to work with a guy whose most recent headline is mocking his wife's sexual harassment lawsuit on national television.
There's mediation, there was an idea of mediation, and both sides, your side and Blake's, shot it down. No one wanted, were you open to mediating this, and the other side said no? Because I don't understand why this could and should end, but it has to be them, right?
And speaking of rejection, Hollywood itself is turning its back on them. Fellow actors who once pretended to like them just to stay socially acceptable are now speaking out and showing disapproval. Insiders reveal that many A-list stars are deliberately distancing themselves from the couple. It's as if their presence has become toxic. Some of Hollywood's biggest names have even unfollowed them on Instagram, which in celebrity terms is a clear message. We don't know you anymore.
And there's a lot of question and confusion and frustration due to what your wife's behavior was. The way your wife took over that movie was shameful. And never because he's a harasser. No, everything I'm gathering, the truth of this story, it seems to be Blake sensed she had a hit on her hands.
Even their own talent agencies are reportedly reevaluating their contracts with them. When your PR disaster is so overwhelming that even those who profit from your success want nothing to do with you, it's clear your career is in serious trouble. Agents are quietly advising studios to avoid them, as no one wants to get caught in the mess they've created. It's no longer just about bad press. It's about avoiding lawsuits, lost revenue, and pure embarrassment.
But they didn't. They showed up to try to make light, to sort of poke fun and seem likable and see everything's cool, guys, right? No, that's why they attended. And everyone's still in shock over it, myself included.
And the financial nightmare keeps spiraling further. The trial between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni is set for March 2026. And if you think this case will quietly fade away, you're in for a rude awakening. This lawsuit is huge. It's not just a petty celebrity feud. Baldoni is going for it all. He's not only suing Blake, he's dragging Ryan Reynolds and their entire PR team into the legal mess too.
This is your first appearance to go out and about after all the drama to show up on Scarlett Johansson's husband's show. Colin Jost, her husband, a big deal, big head writer over at Saturday Night Live. Or anybody who had the guts to say, sit down, dragon, just something would have just kicked it up a notch to actually be, the Saturday Night Live we'd expect it to be. But no, it was very safe and it was very not funny.
I don't think anybody who's been accused of heinous, arguably what are crimes, is on vacation.
But now they're out there celebrating, making jokes, making light of it, which Justin Baldoni's legal team could absolutely use against them in Justin's defense.
Blake Lively, once the queen of perfectly curated Instagram posts, has seen a sharp drop in followers. People are unfollowing her in droves, no longer wanting to support someone who uses false accusations for personal gain. Ryan isn't faring much better. His once devoted fans are starting to see that his charming, funny guy persona was just a facade, hiding an insecure, controlling, and downright insufferable person underneath.
I'm unaware of anybody, frankly, whose wife has been sexually harassed and has made jokes about that type of situation.
Let's talk about the social media destruction. Hashtags like #cancel Lively Reynolds have taken over Twitter and Reddit, and the roasting is non-stop. Every move they make is scrutinized, mocked, and turned into viral memes. If they try to defend themselves, boom, another meme. If they act like nothing's happening, boom, another viral roast. They can't escape the internet's wrath, no matter how hard they try.
The words that we heard were, they were confused as to why they would be there and involved in this way.
They tried damage control by releasing defensive statements to clear things up, but unsurprisingly, it completely backfired. Their PR responses feel hollow and insincere, and it's easy to see why. After spending their entire careers cultivating the image of Hollywood's most relatable, down-to-earth couple, only to be exposed as manipulative opportunists, no one's buying a word they say anymore.
Me Too victim is instead looking a lot more like Amber Heard. How did that work out?
And just like that, it seems like Hollywood is turning its back on one of the most beloved couples in Tinseltown. Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds, once the epitome of A-list royalty, are now facing the fallout from a decision that no one saw coming. But what does this really mean for their careers and for Hollywood's treatment of its stars? Before you go, drop a comment below and let me know what you think about the whole situation. Are Blake and Ryan the victims of an industry conspiracy, or is there more to the story than meets the eye? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you won't miss the next shocking revelation. Until next time, stay tuned for more drama.